Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and with it being Wednesdays in recent times, it is Rat Run Day. Rat Run number 36 of this extraordinary Sudoku series. This is the greatest Sudoku series there has ever been. The puzzle is called Alternating Currant with an A. Current with an A. By Marty Sears, of course, continuing the story about the two rats, Finkz and Phinx, and Elliot, and what's going on in the laboratory. I almost committed an enormous faux pas in last week's edition, because I came very close, having read through the story, which is available over on Patreon at the moment, by the way, the whole story, me reading it start to finish. But because I'd gone over all 35 episodes, and sort of the story was then very crystallized in my mind, I wanted to sort of guess what was going to happen next. And Marty did drop me an email to say, please don't guess, just in case I spoil it and I get it right. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to continue. Let's have a look at what's been going on. Because here, can you see that on the screen? Yes. No, well, maybe not once the instructions are in place. I'm not sure, but I'll read it to you anyway. This is what's happened. On the 29th of April 1975, Experiment 36, Lavender. I have spent all week going through the contents of the bottom drawer. There is far more here than I had anticipated. Pages upon pages of notes, plans, and equations, much of it very difficult to follow. One notebook, titled Super Receptivity, details the anomalies we saw with clustered teleports. It has a whole chapter on calibration, filled with strange little octagonal diagrams, each meticulously annotated. The level of precision is remarkable, and it is becoming increasingly clear that he had progressed far beyond anything we had discussed. It was only this afternoon, while examining the back cover, that I noticed the information that may prove most significant of all. A last of 6-digit numbers, all crossed out except for the bottom one, scribbled beneath a simple heading, Storage Rooms. A list, not a last, a list of 6-digit numbers, all crossed out, except for the bottom one. Beneath a simple heading, Storage Rooms. What does it mean? What does it mean? Now, I also have to say that I am a bit terrified about this one, because I did sneak a look at the comments before I turned on the webcam, and lots of people here are saying that this destroyed them, basically. And this is a SOMEDOKU, which is one of these weird puzzles where in column 1 and row 1 there's one digit only that appears. In row 2 and column 2, there are 2 distinct digits. So there are lots of repeated digits, and all the way through to sort of column 9 and row 9, which are the only ones where Sudoku actually happens, because those rows and columns contain 9 different digits. So Sudoku sort of works in those. So we have not had a rat run which has had this SOMEDOKU rule. And judging by the comments, some people have found the resultant puzzle quite challenging indeed, but this is what we live for in the Sudoku world at the moment, so I'm going to have a go at it in a moment or two's time. But let me just trot through other things before. I don't want to miss anything, actually. So let me mention some other things. We made a bit of a boo-boo yesterday, and we released a video that was meant to appear for our patrons over on Patreon. We released it on the channel, so we're going to leave it up there. It's a sort of one of Mark's Connections gridogram videos. So if you want to know the sort of extra content that happens over on Patreon, that's a very good example. Yes, enjoy. But that's why, for example, there was no thumbnail on that video, because normally there wouldn't need to be. But anyway, we messed up, and it's a little gift to the community now. Now, speaking of little gifts, you might like to have a look at this wonderful merch that Marty's made. Can you see that on the screen? Yeah, that's very visible. So Marty's sort of designed this wonderful Rat Run merchandise. So I particularly love the mouse mats, actually, and the coasters are cool as well, and t-shirts, etc. But anyway, that's all available now. So if you think that might be a nice gift either for somebody you're fond of, or even for yourself, I'll try and remember to put a link to that on the screen. What else? Birthdays. Let's do some birthdays, shall we? Michael, it's your birthday today. I know this because your daughter Rachel over in Northern California wrote to me and told me that you both watch the channel and enjoy my battles with wasps and Maverick. Well, yeah, I do seem to be plagued by flying things, wasps being the small version, Mavericks being the big version. I haven't heard Maverick yet today, so fingers crossed. It's quite windy today, though, so maybe that's not so good for flying. I don't know. Anyway, Michael, many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake is excellent. Next, Eric. Eric, I know I don't think it's your birthday today. I know you're 18, but I gather that you might be joining your father, Pule, to watch this video. And I think your dad is hoping that if anything can get you into variant Sudoku, it is a Marty Sears rat run puzzle. And he's hoping, I think, that you might get hooked on the hobby as Pule is. Pule is a regular watcher and a follower of our live streams as well. So Eric, I just wanted to welcome you, and I hope you enjoy whatever happens next. Next, oh yes, a thank you to Amelia. Amelia, who loves rat run puzzles, hence this introduction, and according to her boyfriend Paul has created me in Tomodachi Life. Is that a Nintendo Switch game? I've got the picture of this to share with you. That apparently is me in the game Tomodachi Life. I'm very honoured. That's sort of an Mavericks take. I can't believe it. That's an unbespectacled Simon wearing a very fetching hat. I do have a hat like that, although you'll probably never see it. It was bought for me at Oktoberfest a few years ago, and yes, it only comes out on very special occasions. Anyway, Amelia, thank you for creating me in Tomodachi Life. I'm honoured. Next, Ricardo, it is your birthday today, and I know this because your fiance Yongao wrote to me. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Or Yongao. Is it Yongao? Yongao, I think. Yeah, many happy returns, Ricardo. I hope you get some very heavily iced chocolate cake. And then finally, a shout out for Corey over there in Winona, Minnesota, who managed to get a whole bar to sing That's Three in the Corner during a nerd night talk that he did about variant Sudoku. I am delighted when things like this happen. People share this hobby and spread the word. So, Cody, thank you for doing that, and well done on creating a Sudoku-themed chorus. Anyway, that's all the news. Let's have a look, shall we, at Rat Run number 36. I mean, I've got to get through this not only because I want to be able to solve it, but I won't get to find out what happens in the story unless I can solve it. So let's have a look at the rules to alternating current with an A. What do we have to do? So it doesn't say normal Sudoku rules apply. It says SOMEDOKU. Fill the grid with the digits 1 to 9 so that each row n and column n contains exactly n distinct digits, with the rest of the cells in that row or column being repeats. For example, only 3 distinct digits appear in row 3, and any of these can be repeated multiple times in order to fill the row. So imagine that this was 1. If this was 1, this was 2, and this was 3, we would know that these digits had to be 1s, 2s, and 3s, because we're only allowed 3 distinct digits in row 3. But we wouldn't know, or at least I don't think we'd know, how many of each there would be. We'd have to use sort of other principles to establish how many of each there would be. Right, what's the next rule? Okay, now we've got aim of experiment. So Finkz and Phinx, these are our 2 intrepid rats. must both reach the cupcakes by finding a path through the maze. The paths must not visit any cell more than once, cross themselves or each other, or pass through any thick maze walls. The paths may only intersect at the cupcake cell. Right, so we've got the cupcakes are in the same cell today, which isn't always the case. So the rat, or whichever one this is, has to get there, whichever one this was has to get there as well, and they mustn't cross each other, etc. As well as moving orthogonally, they may move diagonally if there's a 2x2 space in which to do so, but may never pass diagonally through a round wall spot on the corner of a cell. So we couldn't do that, because that would go through a round wall spot, but we could do that, because that wouldn't. And obviously you can't go, I mean, these sorts of things are also lunacy, so don't do those. We've got black currants today. So if a black currant sits between two digits, one is double the other. So let's look at this one. If this was a 4, this digit would either be 2, because 4 is double 2, or it would be 8, because 8 is double 4. One of those things would have to be true. Red currants. If a red currant sits between two digits, one is odd and the other is even. So it's sort of their parity shifting dots, or currants, I should say. Grapes. If a grape sits between two digits, they have a difference of at least 5. So if this was a 1, this would have to be at least a 6. 6, 7, 8, or 9 would work across the grape. Cages. Digits may not repeat within a cage. Oh, I was thinking, why is that rule there? But I've just realised that's actually necessary in this. Because in column 4, you can have repeated digits, so it's perfectly possible that could be double 2, for example, absent this rule that says digits may not repeat within a cage. Each cage has the same total to be deduced. So if that did add to 4, that one would have to add to 4 as well. If the digit on a cage's electricity symbol is 5 or higher, the cage may not be entered. Right, so if it's a big digit on an electricity, the rats can't go in it. So only if it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4 could a rat go into a cage. Okay. Now the constraint. Test constraint. In this experiment, both rats visit the same number of cells. Any pair of cells, one on each path, that are an equal distance from the cupcake cell, sum to the digit on the cupcake cell. Oh, good grief, right. Thus, both paths combined form a valid zipper line with Finkz and Phinx at the ends and the cupcake cell in the middle. Oh my goodness, right. So I do understand that in terms of sort of what it's doing. So let's draw a short zipper line up here. What we're saying here, let's just put a digit in there. Let's say that was 9. Then these two cells are obviously an equal distance from the center of the line. So they could be something like 4 and 5. And then these two digits are an equal distance from the center. So they also have to add to 9. So they could be 1 and 8, etc. So that's how zipper lines work. And what we're being told here is that this is effectively the center. And then there's going to be arms. So say this was a path and I don't know. Well, no, it's really difficult to draw the paths, isn't it? Because the paths are complicated by the looks of things. But there'll be a path this way and a path this way. Yeah, okay, so for example, those two cells will add to that one, is something that we can deduce from the logic that we've already been told. But I won't go much further than that, because that might constitute solving and you'll get cross with me. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. I mean, look at the title of this. Alternating current with an A, and that's exactly what row 7 is. It is a series of alternating currents with an A. Well, that's horrifically complicated, that row, because it could have repeated digits. Well, no, not because it could have, because it must have repeated digits, because there are only 7 digits in that row, because it's row 7. So I don't know what that means. I mean, that just feels incredibly complicated. It means that, yeah, it means one thing that I think I can see. That cell is 5, 7, or 9, I'm going to claim. I think that's true. Now, why do I think that's true? Well, that's because I've done enough black dot puzzles in my life to know that if you put a digit on a black dot, or a black currant even, in Sudoku, it can only be selected from a portion of the Sudoku numbers. So it can never be a 5, 7, or 9. That's the critical point. Because if it was, what would you put on the other side of the black currant if you put 5, 7, or 9 onto any of these cells? Well, if you put 5 on, the adjacent digit would have to be half 5, that's not an integer, or double 5, well, that's not a Sudoku number. And the same is true for 7, the same is true for 9. So those digits actually just simply cannot include 5s, 7s, or 9s. So there can only be, and there must be 6 different digits in those 8 cells. So that they must be the digits, or they must include all 6 of the possible black dot digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8, so that there are 6 distinct digits in those 8 cells. And then this one is going to be the 7th distinct digit in the row by being a 5, 7, or a 9. Can't be 5, actually, because it's on a grape. You can't put 5 on a grape, because if you put 5 on a grape, the adjacent digit has to be at least 5 different from 5. And there are no such Sudoku numbers that will work there. So this cell is at least 5 different from a high number. Unfortunately, it can be 4, though. It could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. If this was 9, that could be 4. But if this is 7, this has to be 1 or 2. But hang on, before we get sidetracked, can we just come back to this row, because there's something going on. But because I must include all the black dot digits, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have 7 distinct numbers in the row. So there is a 1-2 pair. One of these is a 1-2 pair. Don't know which one, but because I must use 1, I must use a 1-2 pair. Similarly, because I must use 8, one of them is an 8-4 pair. I must use 3, so there must be a 3-6 pair. So there is a 1-2 pair, there is a 3-6 pair, there is a 4-8 pair. And that uses up all the numbers. So the other pair could be a repeat of one of those pairs. So say we had a 1-2, we could have another 1-2 pair. Or it could be a 2-4 pair. Now, actually, I know that one. That one's on a red currant, so that's got to be even. This one, see, that literally could be anything. It could be 1 or 3 if this is 2 or 6, or it could be 2, 4, 6, or 8. Actually, no, it can't be 6. That's the only thing it can't be, because this can't be 3. So this can't be 6, but it could be even, it could be odd, we don't know. And then that could be even or odd. There's got to be one odd on all of those. So there's got to be 3 odds. Right. Okay, so what that means, what I'm now looking at is only a portion of row 7. Now if I look at those cells, and ask how many odd numbers there are in those 6 cells, there are clearly 3, because on each red currant there must be an odd number. Now the only odd numbers you can put on black currants, and all of these digits are touched by a black currant, are 1s and 3s. So there are so the logic of this row is that there is a 1-2 pair, there is a 3-6 pair, there is a 4-8 pair, but because there must be a second copy of one of the odd numbers, there is either a second 1-2 pair, or there's a second 3-6 pair. There isn't a 2-4 pair, there isn't a second 4-8 pair, because if there was, there wouldn't be enough odd digits in the row. Now, I don't actually know what that means at all. Sorry. This is probably not where we're meant to start. We're probably meant to start with... I don't know where we're meant to start. We're probably meant to start with... How does the path go? How do the paths go? So the paths... Okay. Here is a thought that might be important. Well, it would be important if that was a 9. This digit here is a Sudoku digit. So the biggest it can be is 9. So 9 is going to be the sum. So say this was 9. 9 would be the sum of those 2 digits, which means neither of these 2 digits could be the digit 9. So, in fact, without knowing what this is, we know 9 is never on the path of either rat, because if it was, you'd be adding something to that 9 on the other rat's path in order to get to this cupcake digit, and that can't be bigger than 9. So 9... So I was going to do Sudoku then. I was going to say, so no complete row or column could be visited by a rat, but then I've just remembered that this is SOMEDOKU, it's not Sudoku. So there will likely be rows and columns that have no 9s in them. So that constraint is... It exists, but probably not in a way that will be as useful as it would be in a normal Sudoku. So hang on. So this has got 7 different numbers in it. This has got 8 different numbers in it. So this has got 1 repeat. This has got 1 repeat. This has got no repeats. And this has got no repeats. And this row and this column are all the same. So, and that same digit is a black dot digit. And if I just highlight those for a second, I know all those digits are the same by the rules, because there's only 1 digit in row 1 and 1 digit in column 1. But that flicks this black currant here. So this digit that's repeating can't be 5, 7 or 9. It's got to be able to exist on this cell. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 or 8. I'm actually looking at that grape as well, because that grape don't know. I can't quite see how this works. But I'm looking at this column and this row. I'm trying to work out. I'm only allowed 2 distinct digits, aren't I? Now that digit, maybe I shouldn't make it purple. Purple's probably a bad choice, isn't it? Let's make it green, although maybe I can't see the grapes if I make it green. Oh, I'm not sure. I'll make it purple again. If this is purple, well, no, let me correct my language there. This is purple in the sense that it is across a black dot. So these are in a 1:2 ratio. So one of these is double the others. They're clearly not the same number. So these are distinct digits. So in this column now, this column is entirely made up of, because it's column 2, it's only allowed 2 distinct digits. It's got indigo in it, and now it's got purple in it. So though these digits are indigos and purples. Now that digit, if that was purple, that would have to be indigo. And yet that would be purple and indigo as well. That doesn't feel possible. 4 8 is only 4 apart. Yeah, that's okay. So we can say, I think, that this digit is indigo. Let me just think that through. Let's just do that slowly. If that was purple, then I've had my 2 types of digit in row 2. So this, which is across a grape, would have to be indigo, because it can't be purple. But now, what we're saying is there should exist in the world a pair of digits that are simultaneously in a 1:2 ratio, i.e. one is double the other, yet they are at least 5 apart. And if we consider the way that Sudoku numbers would apply, that won't work, because 1 and 2 are only 1 apart, 2 and 4 are only 2 apart, 3 and 6 are 3 apart, and 4 and 8 are 4 apart. So nothing works. So this is wrong. So that is not, this digit has to be indigo. And now this digit is not, it's definitely not it's definitely not purple. The same reason. So this is a new digit that is not purple and not indigo. And now that row is made up of indigo and green. And now this column has got indigo and green, which they are at least 5 apart from this grape, so they could exist on that relationship there. Right, now also, there's 2. Yeah, actually, that's interesting. So we've got a cage here, but actually I would, even without the cage rule that says you can't repeat a digit in a cage. Oh, what on earth is that? What does that mean? Some sort of thing has emerged. Oh, now it's gone again. Did you see that? That's like a code. I've never seen that before. That was very, very weird. Anyway, there was a code, and now the code is gone. Now, these digits now, I'm trying to make that code come back. I don't know how I got it to do that. Anyway, these 2 digits are in column 9, so they can't be the same, because column 9 contains 9 distinct digits, so that digit is green. But it's also green because you can't repeat indigo in a cage. So none of these digits down here are capable of being indigo or green. This digit is purple because in the bottom row you can't repeat a colour. So that is going to be that's going to be purple. And that's, okay, so that's Well, this digit could be anything, we don't know. So, okay, what on earth do we do then? Okay, here's something. Here is something. I don't think that this rat here, which we should christen the rat, shouldn't we, so that I can actually speak about the rats. Let's make this one Inks, and we'll make this one Pinks. Therefore, so because I can't use Finkz and Phinx because they obviously are, they sound so similar. Now, if Inks was to go this way, I don't think that's going to work, because if Inks does go this way, positions 2, 3, and 4 on her path are all going to be the same number. They're all going to be indigo. Now, what does that mean for Pinks's path? Positions, because let's put X in there. That's X. We know then that this, let's say these were A. Well, we should be looking for 3 B's on. So let's say A plus B is equal to X. Then positions 2, 3, and 4 on Pinks's path should be equal to B. So that's actually nearly possible. Oh, bother it. Okay, that might actually not be impossible. I thought that was definitely going to be impossible. It's definitely impossible if Pinks goes up, because these digits are these two are definitely different from one another, because they're in column 9 and every digit in column 9 is different. If Pinks goes this way, she couldn't go to here, because again these two will be different, so they can't both be B. If she goes to here, this could be B. Now if she goes up, you can repeat a digit in column 8, so it's possible both of those are B. And it's possible, because you can repeat one digit in row 8, that both of those are B. So if Pinks went boop, 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 they could all 3 of those be B. I mean, I don't know. With Marty, Marty would almost find it funny that that's possible. That's so annoying. I'm sorry. I don't think I can make that assumption, so I'm not going to make it. But hang on, let me just think about this. So if you see, it doesn't look very difficult at all to me. It looks like that's far more constrained than this is. Because if Inks does go along row 9, obviously all 4 of those path cells are all different digits, which is absolutely natural. And then those could just go up there, couldn't you? What's wrong with that? Okay, I can't rule that out. What I can rule out is that Inks goes there, actually. I can rule that out. Because if she does that, I think we can then use the fact that we know that neither path can ever have a 9 on it. And that won't, it now is broken, isn't it? Because these are all path cells, so the 9 in row 9 has to go here, but the 9 can't go there. That has to be a black dottable digit, because it's going to be transported and transmuted all around row 1 and column 1, and it's going to end up there. And you can't put a 9 on a black currant. So we can't. So if if Inks does go east, she must go into the lightning bolt. What was the rule about the lightning bolt? We're allowed to go in a lightning bolt if you are if it's 5. No, it's not entered if it's 5 or higher. Right, so if Inks does go east, this digit is going to be low. And that is impossible. Good grief, we are going up there. Oh my goodness, right, this is important. Okay, so this is very clever. Marty is a clever person. Good grief. We are so blessed in this community. I mean, yesterday I did a puzzle by Chan Ertran, who is a genius. Marty is a genius. Right, look at this. What is the value of this cage? And the answer, the short answer is, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. But I do know that the value of all the cages in the puzzle is the same. We were told that. And I know that this cage is the sum of indigo and green. But indigo and green are across this grape. So they are at least 5 different from one another. So the minimum that this could be would be a 6 and a 1, which add up to 7. Which means the minimum... I see, I should have done this, shouldn't I? I didn't realise I could do this. But what that means is that this value, that's a cage. So it's got to have the same value as this, which has the same value as this. So there must be one digit that's higher than 5 and one digit that's lower than 5. So the minimum these could be is a 6 and a 1, which means the minimum this is 7. So this is actually out of bounds. You can't go into this cell. And therefore, Inks doesn't go this way. Because if she does go this way, she can't turn up into the electricity, so she has to go across there, and now 9 is a problem in column 1. That is very complicated, but very, very cool. Because, well, why is this cool? Because now Inks has to go this way, because she simply can't go east, so she has to go there. And now, when we look at Phinx's path, positions 2, 3, and 4 do have to be the same, so we can't go up there. So Phinx's path is going to go there, there. Now we've had a repeat in column 8, so there. Now we've had a repeat in row. Yeah, so now I've had a repeat. Well, oh, actually, look. I mean, we just simply have to do that because we're in this sort of this passageway for Phinx. But also, from Inks's perspective, let me try and explain. We've got dum, dum, dum. And those are the equivalent of dum, dum, dum. So if Inks went to this cell, then this cell should be the same as these 2 cells. And we can't have 3 repeats in row 8. We could have 1 repeat, but well, it's not possible all 3 of those digits are the same because we wouldn't get 8 distinct digits into the row. So that means that Inks has to turn. And she has to keep going, because if she went down, she would bump into the lightning bolt, which she's not allowed to do because it's too high. So she's got to go there and there. And now Phinx can't go west, because then she'll either bump into the lightning bolt or she'll bump into Inks, which is something she just doesn't want to do at this juncture. So she's got to go that way. Okay. And probably what we need to do now I'm not sure, actually. I was thinking, do I now try and colour some of it? Because I do know that those 3 digits are all the same. Those ones. And I tell you what, I know more than that. I know these two digits are the same as well. Because the path that Inks takes is purple, blank, 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 purple again. So this one must start with something and then go blank, 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 and then the same digit again in order that purple plus purple, well, in order that those two add up to the same as these two, they must have the same colours. Now, okay, and it is true to say that this is not purple because it's in row 9, so it can't repeat purple. It's true to say that this digit is different from purple and indigo. Now, what it might not be true to say is that all these digits here are different from green, because green... no, it's okay for red to be different from green. Red and green are in the same column, so red and green are different, but yellow? This is really clever, actually. This is really clever, because actually I do know yellow is different from green. Oh, hang on, do I? I think I do, because in column 8, I've got 2 yellows. That means every other digit in column 8 has to not be yellow and not be the same as any other digit, which makes this green. And now green is in the same column as yellow, and they are different. So these are... I think these are 5 distinct digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distinct digits that we've got in the puzzle now. Let's get rid of my X from here. And these are all different. And these are all different. Hang on, that's the same logic here then. This has to be purple. It can't be indigo. I'd have 2 indigos and 2 yellows in row 8. I couldn't have enough distinct digits. So if Phinx does go here, this would have to be 7, because it can't be 9 on the path. And then this cupcake would be 8 or 9. Let's just count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, because we'd have to go north. Actually, that's going to matter, isn't it, for that value? Because the path of Inks can't bump into Phinx, she's going to have to go north because she can't go into the electricity. But now she goes into this symbol, which is... Well, this cage means this electricity symbol has to be low. So it's got to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, okay, let's pause and take a breath and try and work out. So, don't quite know what to do again. Unsurprising. Sorry if you can all see it. I can't see what to do. Okay, let's try row 7 again then, because we know this one's the equivalent of this one. So this one is the equivalent of this one. So these have to... Right. So this black currant is either 1, 2, or 3, 6. And we know that because we know the parity of these 2 digits is different. So one of these is odd, one of these is even, and yet they're adding to X. So that means the parity of these must be different, doesn't it? There must be an odd and an even here. If these were both the same parity, then because these are different parity, the sum of one of these would be odd and the sum of the other would be even, and they couldn't both add to that number. So these are either 1, 2, or 3, 6. Now, what does that mean? If they were 3, 6, then we would know the cupcake was at least 7. See, I nearly made a mistake then. I nearly said the following, which would have been nonsense. I nearly said, actually, hang on. No, I nearly said, but the paths of the 2 rats take 6 cells in row 7. Therefore, we know that this is at least a 7 because we know that there's going to be at least a 6 in this row. But that's not true because there are repeated digits in this row. So it's not that these 6 cells are 6 different digits at all. They're probably not 6 different digits. Although I do know that one black currant is a 4-8 pair. So if that was this one, then I would know this was a 9. And I would know if that's 4-8. These would be 5-1 in some order. If that was 4-8, this would be odd by parity. This would be 1 or 3. This would be even. This would be 2 or 6. This would be 1 or 3. Hang on, I've got a grape here I'd never even seen. This grape must be 1, 2, 3 or 4, I think, to be 5 different from this 7, 8, 9 number. But that, we don't know the parity of it if it's 1, 2, 3 or 4. We do have to be careful now. 9 is not the total of the cupcakes, because if it was, what would we put in here? Because what we'd be saying is we've got 2 digits here that are different parity that are summing with these 2 digits to get 9. So if this was 3, 6, these would have to be 3 and 6 as well, wouldn't they? But that would put too many 3s and 6s in the row. Because if that's a 3, 6 pair, let me just show you that. This is 3, 6 and this is 3, 6 by black dot. And we've got an absolute, we've got so many repeats in the, we'd have a 6, in fact it would go exactly 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3 in order to make the total 9. And we definitely haven't got 7 different digits in row 7 because we've only got 6 and 3 in those 6 cells. So that doesn't work. And I think if this was 1, 2, then one of these ought to be a 7. And that won't, because 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. You can't put 7 on a black dot. So this cupcake is not 9. And it is no bigger than 8, which means we can't put 8 on the path. So this cell, I haven't actually done this. Look at this. This is remiss of me. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 or 8, but it can't be 8 now. Doesn't mean this can't be 4 because this could be 2. This could be a 2, 4 pair. And if this is, if the cupcake is 8, you couldn't use 3, 6. In fact, 7 would be a problem. Oh, it's not 8 either. It's not 8 either. Because if it was 8, then what will we put in there again? If this is 3, 6, one of these is a 5 on a black currant. That won't work. Because whichever one is opposite the 3 is going to have to be a 5. And if it's 1, 2, one of those is a 7. And they won't work on black currants either. So it's not 8. If it's 7, it can't be much lower than 7. It can't be because, well, anyway, it probably can be, knowing Marty. Let's just think about that. If it's 7, And no, if it's 7, 1, 2 won't work because we'd have to put 5 in one of these cells. 4, 1 would work. If that's 3, 6 and that was 4, 1. Okay, that might work. Okay, so 7 might work. Let's have a think about 6. 6 would rule out 3, 6 because obviously you can't put 6 plus 0 in. So this 1, 2 won't work because that would need a 5 here, opposite the 1. So it's not 6. Can't be 5. 5's on a grape. That's a much simpler reason. If this was 5, it would be on a grape. That won't work. Well, it can't. It can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4, can it? It definitely can't be 1. Because we're definitely, in fact, it definitely can't be 2 either. Because we're adding, the minimum these are is 1 and 2, and we're adding a 2 to something there. So it's not 1 or 2. So it's this digit is 3, 4, or 6. And I bet it has to, no, 3, not 6, 7. It's either, I think it's going to be 7. I just need to prove it. If it's 3, everything has to be 1s and 2s, doesn't it? But we do know in this row there is a 1, 2 repeater. So that could be 1, 2, and that could be 1, 2. That's extraordinary. Then, no, it just can't be. I just refuse to believe it. It can't be 1, 2. No, it really can't. Actually, it really can't be. No, the reason it can't be is row 9. There are 4 different digits on the path. Oh, that does it. In row 9, there are 4 different digits on the path. And they are all different because they're in row 9. So even if these were 1, 2, 3, and 4, 4 would be on the path, being added to another number to get to this number. So this number is 7. And right, how did that work? It didn't work with 1, 2 there because you'd need to add 5 to the 2. So this is 3, 6, and these are 1 and 4 being added to 3 and 6. And if these are 1 and 4, their black currants are 2 for one of them, the one which is a 1. And then the 4 could be a 2 or an 8, couldn't it? So these are from 2 and 8. But this, hang on, the grape is going to do me a favour here, isn't it? 1 and 4. Yeah, the grape requires this to be a 2 then. I've got 2 digits in this grid now. I don't know. I really want to make this an 8, but I don't know if it has to be. Because it could have a repeated 2. Right. This digit is now not the same parity as 2. So it's odd. So that's 3 and 6. Now, so this is 1. 6 plus 1 are the next digits. And then 3 plus 4. And 6. So this digit is odd parity. So that's got to be 1 or 3. So that's the purple digit. So these are all 1s and 3s. And then this digit is 2 or 6. And that 2 or 6 goes everywhere, look. That's a 2 or a 6. So can this be a 1? I don't know. Right, hang on though. Because this pair here is either 1, 2 or 3, 6. So that's going to be the repeater. in this row. So this can't repeat another digit, or we won't get to 7 distinct digits. This has to be, yes, to put it another way, we worked out earlier that in order to get to 7 distinct digits, you had to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8 on the black currants, and I haven't put 8 on the black currants in row 7. So this is the 8 on the black currant. It doesn't tell us whether this is 7 or 9. But the Phinx path can't go into an 8. So Phinx has to go up. Marty, this is just glorious. Now, see, I nearly did it again. I was going to say this can't be a 3 because it's in a column with a 3, but it's in column 4. So there's going to be, boku, the repeated digits in column 4. So that absolutely could be a 3. So, right, this digit is a big old digit. So it is, well, it could be 6, 7, 8 or 9, couldn't it? If it was, I tell you what, it is 6 or 7. Actually, that's really important. That's huge. It is 6 or 7 for the following reason. Look at this cell. This is a grape. So this digit here that's opposite 7 on a grape is low. And now in column 3, the 3 different distinct digits are the 1 or the 2, the 7 and the 6. So that digit is not 8 or 9. And therefore this can't be 3, and it is 1. So purple is 1. Across the black currant is a 2. So 2 is going all around the piece. This is now a 7 because it can't be an 8 or a 9, or that would be too many distinct digits in this column. So 7 is, so electricity, cages add to 9 everywhere. So that's a 9. Cages add to 9 wherever they live. So this digit, so that cell there is 5, 6, 7 or 8. This can't be a 1 because it would be a 4th distinct digit in this column. So that is indigo. This is green. Whoopsie. 6. We don't know yet. That's got to be 2 is indigo. Don't know what that one is yet. And red is the complement of 1 that's adding up to 7. Because these 2 digits, the 2 rats, must sum to 7. So red is 6. So this is 6. Across the black currant means this is 3. Across the grape, you got 3 and 7 are 4 apart. They're not at least 5 apart. So this is 9. And the yellow digit is, that's the complement of 2 adding up to 7. So all of those yellows are 5s. Isn't this fantastic? It is fantastic. Now, so where are we now? We did this one. That's added to that one. We did this one. That's added to that one. So now we've gone up. So these 2 add to 7. And this is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So this is 6, 5, 4 or 3. But we don't know which one it is. Because this needs to have quite a lot of distinct digits in it. Now, what about... what do we do now? We've got to have different digits in the bottom row. So that's got to be 7. 7s are green. 6s are red. 5s are yellow. So this digit, which is an electricity digit, is, oh, these are all 1s and 2s. These are all 2s and 7s. And we know that, so this cage can be entered by inks because the electricity is a 1 or a 2. And we know the cage adds up to 9. So this, that can't be 8 because that would put too many different digits in column 3. So this has to be 2. This has to be 7. 7 is the green digit. So I've now had 2 2s in row 6, but that doesn't prevent me having another one. And these digits here are 2s. We might be able to do better here. 2, 6, 7. But I've had my repeater in row 8, so this can't be, this has to be 7. Can't be 2 or 6, or I'd have a second repeat in row 8, so that's a green digit. And this digit is a digit we haven't used yet, so it is 4 or 8. Yeah, we've used the others. So it's 4 or 8. And in column 4, we've had a 2 and a 3. And whatever this digit is, which is not 2 or 3, but that could be, they could be both 8, couldn't they? Oh. Although if that was 8, you couldn't go through it with this cell. Oh, you can't go through 7. So inks can't go west here. Because you bump into a 7, and so the opposite cell on Phinx's path would need to be a 0. And the bottom row, we haven't put in, we need to put in 3, 4, 8, 9. Yeah, I really want to do Sudoku. We mustn't do Sudoku in SOMEDOKU. You must never do it. It's just, it's a way for madness to apply. Now, this column, we need 1, 4, 5, 8. Because these are the only places in SOMEDOKU where it is permissible to do Sudoku. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? It really is. So it's probably the path, isn't it? So we've got a 3 plus a 4, and they yes. So this is, these do add up. So these do add up to 7. And then if we go up there, those 2 would add up to 7. So this would have to be a 1 or a 2. That would be a high digit across the grape. Okay. So hang on. Hang on a moment. How do we get to the cupcake? Twice. That is a good question. How do you get? Both rats have to get to the cupcake. How do they get there? They can't go through a 7 ever, or an 8 or a 9, but particularly 7 is what I'm looking at, because this is a 7 now. So hang on, the rats are in these 2 positions. That's where the rats are. Now the rats have to both get to the cupcake. So one way is through there. I can see that. That's very... Can't go through 7. So we could go through there and get to the cupcake. But the other rat is going to have to go through there, I think, which means that's going to be a 2. But there is a very obvious problem with this, which is that if He's going to have done this, isn't he? He's going to have done this. There's going to be about 18 fives in the middle of this grid somehow. Because what you've got to do here, I think, is to get both rats to the cupcake. Now, that means it's a bit difficult to tell exactly with my colouring of the grid, but I think there's broadly two ways. One way is through here, and one way, given you can't ever go through 7, is going to be there or there, through this cell. Now the problem here is that the moment you venture, you have the audacity to try to get to the cupcake from this cell by going across the top and not hitting 7s, you are going to hit the most almighty string of 2s that has ever existed in a Sudoku puzzle. There's going to be hundreds of them. Because you can't even go through there. You could go 1. Hang on, let's actually do this count. What is the least number of 2s in a row that presumably Phinx will have to hit to get to the cupcake going through this cell? So that would be a 2. 2, 2, 2. Diagonal would save us would save a spacing. So 2, 2, 2, 2. That's 4 in a row. 5, 6. Diagonal 7. 8. That one. Okay, 8. 8 is the minimum. You don't have to make that a 2 because that could be a 1. If Inks's path could have a 6. So maybe if that's a 6, that would work. But there were 8 2s minimum in a row, which means that for this to be valid, Inks's path must include 8 5s in a row. Now that seems like a lot of 5s, even in SOMEDOKU. It must be achievable somehow, because I don't think you can get to this cupcake without, well, in fact, maybe this is what we have to do. So I think one rat has to go through there. It can't be Phinx, because if Phinx went through here, how would Inks get there without crossing her path? They would cross paths. So I think, right, okay, so this is important actually, because what we can say now is that Inks doesn't just go there, because that would not allow this continuous string of 5s to exist at all. So Inks is going to go there, there, yeah, the wall spots. So that is the only way that Inks can get to the cupcake. It has to be directly vertical, because that's going to turn her round and hit into 7s and things. So how does this work? So let's take grey out. Which cells are equivalent? These two are equivalent. So these two are equivalent, i.e. adding to 7. So even if Phinx went straight up, that would take us there. And then we'd have to have 8 5s in a row. We can only put 6 5s in that region. So that doesn't work. Okay, so what? Okay. So what's going to happen here is that Inks is going to have to not go here. Because if Inks goes here, she can shuffle around and take 6 5s, which is not enough. Ask the god of history. He says that was not enough. For I was hungry, and ye fed me not. Well, these two rats are hungry. Yeah, so I don't think we can go that way. We can't bump into that. We can't go diagonal. So Inks is going to go there, 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 which means Phinx, to get to this cell, which has to be a 2, I think, to get to the cupcake. So that's got to be... So Phinx is going to have to go diagonal like that. Phinx is going to have to go like that. We're going to have to work out how this all tags together, but let's just see if we can. So those two are equivalent, these two are equivalent, these two are equivalent, and Phinx is still nowhere near the 2 sequence. So if Phinx now went straight up, 1, 2, that would be these two. Then this one could be a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that would work. Okay, that would, well, it would give us the latitude we need in order to create enough 5s, I think. Oh no, no, no! I've got a grape. Hang on. Hang on a minute. I can't put 5 on there. Did I need to do that then? Did I put 5 there? I think I did. Oh, dearie, dearie. 1. Hang on. Those add up to 7. These add up to 7. Oh, I did. Because I said Phinx would go north twice, which gets us here. And then this cell would be the equivalent of that cell, but that's a 5 on a grape, which I can't do. So in fact, I've only got 8 cells to play with. I've only got 8 cells to play with because given this can't be a 5, what is the most, what is, if I pack Inks's path, this is unbelievable. If you pack Inks's path with 5s as soon as you can, how many 5s can you put on the path? This will be the earliest. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. That is 8. So they are all 5s. Now, and that means that we can't do any more. Oh, so that actually, hang on, that means this is 4 by the logic of cages. Now those two are equivalent, so that's a 3. These two are equivalent. These two are equivalent. And then we need to arrive here. So Oh no, hang on, I'm getting confused here. I've got to be really careful about this. So those two are equivalent. These two are equivalent. So I've still got three cells of pink, one of which is this one. So those two must be equivalent. So I've got these two, I've got 2 cells to do the connection. So I can't go there. I can't go there with pinks, because if I go there, I'd have to do a wiggle that would take too many cells. I've only got 2 cells to get from here to here. So, yeah, oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. So I could go there, diagonal, actually. I didn't see that. Or I could go there, diagonal. Why is my watch buzzing at me? Oh dear. That's not good news. Something in the news that's not very pleasant. Okay. Or I've just seen another way. I could go there diagonally and up. Okay, well, let's work on Pinx's path from here then, because she has got to go she's got eight twos in a row to get to, I'm going to say this cell. So if she goes up, I don't think it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So she doesn't go up. So she does come along there. Those two must be 2s. Now, if this was a 2 and she took it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 again, that doesn't work. So there is a diagonal connector there. So this is the path that she must take. And then she's got to go across here, diagonal, down, and hopefully that is 8 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, she then has to go here by force of nature, and that cannot be a 2 because I can't put a 5 adjacent to it. So this must be a 1, and this must be a 6, and then she must close the path. There. And now this is purple. I mean, this still has to get disambiguated. It's weird, isn't it? Right, in row 3, now I know the digits are 1, 2, and 5. So this is not 4 and it's not 8. This digit, in column 4, I've had all my digits, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's got to not be 7. So that's 2. That's 2, it's just not used. Right, so 2, 3, 4, 5 are the digits. So this is not 8. This is not 8 or 9. So this is 3 or 4. And I've sort of done quite a lot of the right. In this row, this digit is 1, 2, or 5. And that is the equivalent of this digit, look. So that digit adds up to, so that is 6, 5, or 2. And that is in this column, which has already had 2 repeats. It's had a repeated 2 and a repeated 5 in column 7, so it can't have any more repeats. That's got to be a 6, which makes this a 1. And that, that's lovely. That's on a, it's on a grape. So that's a 1 by grape logic, which is the equivalent of this digit, which makes this a 6. I just can't do Sudoku, though. We must not do Sudoku because we'll get into such a pickle. Sudoku is not our friend in this. It really isn't. In this column, we need 5 different digits. 1, 2, 3, 4 only, I think. So this digit must be a totally new digit. 2, 5, 6, 9. Yeah, this has got to be a totally 2, 5, 6, 9. So this is not 9. It's 3, 4, or 8. What about this column? I've all but done it. Oh, and this had repeats. So this is a new digit as well. So it's not 3 or 4 in order to have 7 different digits. So now across this grape, this is a low digit. Now I've got a 3, 4 pair in row 9 where I can do Sudoku. So this is 8. This is 9. I'm allowed to do Sudoku. I am. You can't stop me there. Okay. I mean, how is that going to get determined? Oh, I see. Perhaps by these 3 getting determined. Because in this row, obviously, it can be 1 or 5, so it must be these 3 that somehow determine that one. So, right. Okay, so how are we going to do this? These have to add up to 7. In row 6, I need 6 different digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that could be the 6th or not. Bother. I don't know how to do it. Okay, let's try this row because I can see something in row 4. In row 4, I have actually had 4 different digits, 2, 5, 6, and 7. How do you set these, by the way? This is just not computable, is it? Do you have to use a computer to sort of create these grids? It's crazy. Right, so that is 2, which means it's that colour. So, and we can only use, this digit has to be 2, 5, 6, or 7. So it is 5. And that, promptly enough, gives me my 1 here, because I can't repeat. So this is now a 4-8 pair. And these 2 digits are 2, 5, 6, or 7. Now this is on the path, this cell here. So the digit that's next on Phinx's path working backwards has to be the complement of this. And that she could go either way, I think. If she comes down here, that could be a 2-5 pair. If she goes there to the 1, this could be a 6. That's very distressing. Okay. Wow. Okay, we can't repeat. I've had double 5 in column 8, so I can't have any more repeats. So that's not 2 or 5 or 7. That is 6. Can't do Sudoku. Do not do Sudoku, Simon. So now if she comes... that's better. Right. Now, if Phinx did come to this cell next, this would need to be a 1, and it can't be. So Phinx goes to column... This is great. I think this is fixing the path all ends up, actually. Because now there's that's it. She's got to stop. Because we've only got 2 digits between the orange and the lime green. So she goes 1. So this is 6. Then she goes 5, which makes this a 2. And then she's got the lime green. So probably column 8 is where we look, where we've had our repeats. So these have to be totally new digits. And digits available look like they're 3, 4, and 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, and 9. Now, I can't put 9 on the path. So this is 3 or 4. So this is 3 or 4. And these are different. So... what does that mean? I don't know. This row. How? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5 different digits in this row. Look like I've got several of them. Yeah. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 5, 6, and 3 or 4. Right. So this can't be 8 because it would be too many different digits. Those have to be the same digit. They have to both be 4. Which makes this 8, this 3. I don't know. We're going to have to count this column. Right, in this column, this is column 6. So we need 6 difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've already got them, I think. I think if this was 4, I'd have too many. Then I'd have... Oh, no, hang on. No, that's wrong. I need this to be 4. Because I need 6 different digits. I haven't had a 7, 8, or a 9 in that column, so I do need that to be 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I counted 2 twice last time. So this now is 3 by the bottom row logic. This one's... that's a 6. So that is a 1 using great logic. And I've still got 1, and you think I could just write it in, but you can't. So it can't be 4, because we know it can't repeat in this column. 3 or 9, this column does not help me with that, so it must be row 6. If that's a 3, have I got too many repeats? Probably have. I don't know, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that has to be a 3. I'm going mad here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. That's 6. That's how many I'm meant to have. So this can't be 9 and has to be 3. And I think that is, how long is that? That's only taken me an hour and 25 minutes. I'm not actually that unhappy with that. If it's right, I am very, very chuffed with that. And I haven't done it. I haven't finished it because I've got to do the path of inks to take all these 5s in. Is that unique? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because the round wall spot, how do we ever get to that cell on the path? We've got to go in, we've sort of got to do that, and now we can't close the path. So we have to do that and that and that. This is ridiculous. This is unsettable, almost. I mean, it exists in nature, so Marty somehow set it. I do not know how. I'm just checking that my paths are continuous. I think they are. Yes! I get the story! Right, you might not be able to see this. Let me just check my... no, I think some things will be in the way, but let me read it to you. So it says, experiment completed successfully. Test date 29th of April 1975. Cells visited 45. Black currants eaten 2. Red currants eaten 2. Grapes eaten 0. Inactive cages entered 1. What lay inside storage room A hit me like a punch to the gut. The largest cupboard had been completely cleared out and fitted with a huge, crudely built metallic circular frame. A thick bundle of cables ran from its base into a compact power unit mounted against the rear wall. Though the controls remained set, the system was no longer receiving any power. It was instantly apparent what his intentions had been, and months of uncertainty were replaced by a sudden clarity. If there had been any lingering doubt, it evaporated when I found a near-identical setup in room B. There's a scrolling opportunity here. This second room bore greater signs of distress. A stack of boxes had been knocked over, their contents scattered across the floor, and the surrounding surfaces were faintly scorched, more so than in room A. The air carried an odour unlike anything I have smelt before. Noticing a dark, smudged handprint on the wall by the door, I found myself retracing his final steps in my mind. Wow. Wow. What a puzzle. That is breathtakingly clever. I actually have no idea how you did that, Marty. And Marty sometimes leaves long comments under these videos, which are fantastic to read. But I have a question for you, Marty. How did you set that? Because how did you have the idea to make a path that needed 8 consecutive 2s on it, and therefore 8 consecutive 5s on it, and yet somehow that could exist within the SOMEDOKU, and then it's magic. It's just absolute magic. Fantastic. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.